A wife, yearning for liberation, declares, "I wish to embrace my free spirit, not be confined by the role of a wife." Yet, she soon discovers the steep cost of her newfound freedom. "Your betrayal has twisted our vows into instruments of deceit." No, no. The receipt from the luxury hotel slipped from Jessica's gym bag, resembling a confession penned on pristine corporate letterhead. Michael Carter grasped it with his roughened fingers, narrowing his eyes at the figures that sent a chill through his gut. 4 nights in the presidential suite. Room 421. The dates aligned seamlessly with her fitness retreat. His wife of 18 years made no effort to conceal it. "Dad." Emily Carter emerged in the kitchen doorway, her backpack casually draped over one shoulder. "Mother has already departed. She mentioned that you would take me to school." Michael carefully folded the receipt, tucking it away into the pocket of his work shirt. "Indeed, my young friend. Kindly grant me 5 minutes." The sanitation truck sat idling on the street, with Joey Russo at the helm, his wedding ring rhythmically tapping against the steering wheel, a nervous habit he had developed since his release from county lockup. 3 years free from the grip, 2 years untethered from the past, and yet still restless as ever. "You look like someone poured vinegar in your coffee," Joey remarked as Michael settled into the passenger seat. Perhaps something along those lines. They traveled their path in quietude until Joey could no longer bear it. "Is your trophy wife causing you trouble once more?" Michael nearly chuckled. A trophy spouse. That was the name Joey used for Jessica, even though he had seen through her facade long ago. Eventually, most people did. Save for Michael. It seemed he was the final one to be informed. It appeared, "Joey, have you ever visited the Ocean Tide Hotel? The elegant establishment located in the heart of the city?" "Absolutely not." "What is the reason behind this?" Michael retrieved the receipt from his pocket. Joey let out a soft whistle. "Oh no, brother. Your wife is either striking it rich with a lottery win or, indeed." "Are you certain about this?" Michael meticulously folded the receipt once more, his gaze lingering on the printed details. The room number was seared into his vision now. 421. Confident, they completed the route in an astonishingly swift manner. Joey set Michael down by his truck, a weathered Chevy that Jessica never failed to grumble about. "Are you in need of some backup?" "For what purpose?" "For whatever purpose you intend to pursue with that receipt." With a determined twist of the key, Michael ignited the engine's roar. "I'm just going to ask her about it." Joey snorted. "Indeed. Reach out to me when you find yourself in need of bail funds." The Ocean Tide Hotel exuded an aroma of wealth and deception. Michael had never crossed the threshold before, yet he understood instantly why Jessica had made this choice. The surroundings were adorned with marble and gilded accents, a setting that rendered sanitation workers as mere intruders. Their very presence, a disruption to the opulence that enveloped them. The elevator ascended to the 4th floor, its movement barely a murmur. With each step down the carpeted hallway, Michael felt his heart race, pounding fiercely against his ribs as he traced the gleaming brass room numbers. 417, 419, 421. He leaned in, his ear resting against the door, straining to catch the faintest sound from within. The cacophony within distorted his sight, painting everything in shades of crimson. Her voice, filled with a breathless eagerness that had long been absent in their years together, a voice belonging to a man, exuding authority and self-assurance. Michael grasped the door handle, testing its resistance. Set free, the presidential suite exceeded every expectation laid out in the receipt. Expansive windows stretching from floor to ceiling, a king-sized bed adorned with luxurious Egyptian cotton sheets, a champagne bucket filled with ice, and there lay his wife, bare and entwined with a stranger Michael could not place, with dark hair and an expensive watch. He wore a confident smile that suggested he had never questioned his place in the world. What on earth? The man commenced his journey. Jessica let out a piercing scream, not out of surprise, but fueled by a deep-seated anger directed at Michael. How could you possibly? Leave at once. Leave at once. Ryan, as indicated by the hotel bathrobe draped nearby, hurriedly searched for his pants. Listen, my friend, it seems there has been a bit of confusion. Michael's fist struck Ryan's jaw even before the final syllables had taken shape. Ryan stumbled backward, grasping at the edge of the champagne bucket, and in an instant, they both collapsed in a chaotic entanglement of limbs and scattered ice cubes. It was nothing like the films portray. It unfolded without choreography, devoid of clever one-liners. Two middle-aged men grapple on the slick marble tiles, their movements a clumsy dance of awkward punches and primal grunts. Cease this at once. Jessica let out a piercing shriek. Could someone please summon security? Ryan deftly maneuvered to escape, cradling his shoulder with a wince. Your sanity is in question. I am contacting the authorities. Call them. Michael gasped. I would be eager to listen to your explanation of this matter. Yet, Ryan was already engrossed in his phone, and within moments, hotel security made their appearance. Two imposing figures, reminiscent of former bouncers, trailed by the Baltimore Police Department. Michael lay sprawled on the cold marble floor, his hands bound tightly behind him with zip ties. He launched an assault on us. Jessica donned Ryan's shirt, embodying the role of the victim with remarkable finesse. He intruded into this space and attacked my friend. Companion. Michael chuckled, the metallic tang of copper lingering on his tongue. Is that truly what we're naming it? The officers showed no inclination towards the intricacies of domestic disputes. In the opulence of a luxury hotel suite, a sanitation worker caught their eye, prompting them to weave their own narratives and assumptions. Michael passed the night in a downtown holding cell, surrounded by the lamentations of drunks and dealers, each voicing their grievances about the hand life had dealt them. He seamlessly blended into the surroundings. As Michael stepped out of the police station, the rain began to fall. The truck remained parked in the hotel lot, yet that appeared to be the smallest of his concerns. Upon arriving at his own driveway 6 hours later, he discovered that the locks had been changed, his house key twisted in the void of emptiness. A note was affixed to the front door, penned in Jessica's graceful script. Michael, your actions last night crossed a line and posed a serious risk. I have submitted a request for a restraining order. Please refrain from reaching out to me. Please refrain from coming here. I have reached out to my attorney. Michael lingered in his truck for 20 minutes, observing as neighbors furtively glanced through their curtains. The Hendersons next door savored their morning coffee, enjoying a front-row seat to his moment of humiliation. He could already envision the phone calls racing through the neighborhood, igniting like wildfire. His phone vibrated with a sudden urgency. Joey, I heard you graced the morning news. Brother? What is it? The police blotter caught the attention of local news outlets. A sanitation worker has been taken into custody following an assault at a hotel. Though your name was left unspoken, it's clear to anyone with a modicum of insight who you truly are. Michael pressed his forehead against the steering wheel, a moment of stillness enveloping him. I find myself in quite the predicament. Perhaps you have finally emerged from slumber. 20 minutes later, Joey arrived, a bag of clothes in one hand and a gas station sandwich in the other. You're welcome to stay at my place while you sort this out. I am unable to do that. Indeed, it is possible. Indeed, you shall. Sitting in your truck, wallowing in self-pity, will not bring about any solutions. They journeyed to Joey's apartment, enveloped in a heavy silence. It was hardly significant. A modest one-bedroom perched above a laundromat, yet it exuded a sense of cleanliness and authenticity. There are no marble floors or Egyptian cotton to be found. Would you like to discuss it? Joey inquired, popping the tops off 2 beers. Michael retrieved the hotel receipt from his pocket. Gaze upon the rear. With a swift motion, Joey turned it over. At the bottom, in delicate lettering, lay Ryan's complete name, Ryanardo Drummond. It appeared to be a sort of membership code. What now? At last, I have uncovered his identity. What will you do with that information? Michael savored a deep swig of his beer. I find myself at a loss for answers. The Baltimore Public Library offered complimentary access to computers and the internet. Michael had always viewed himself as somewhat inept when it came to technology. Yet the grip of desperation proved to be an unexpectedly formidable instructor. In the span of 2 hours, he had uncovered more about Ryanardo Drummond than Ryan himself might have recalled. A 41-year-old hotel manager overseeing 3 locations, one of which is the Ocean Tide, twice divorced, child-free, possessed a condominium in the heart of the city, a charming beach house in Rehoboth, and 2 rental properties nestled in the suburbs. Impeccable credit, numerous business collaborations, and a series of civil lawsuits filed by former employees alleging harassment. Engaging literature. Michael glanced upward, discovering Joey poised behind him, cradling 2 steaming cups of coffee. As a habitual womanizer, Michael remarked. This is not his inaugural experience. That comes as no shock. What is the strategy moving forward? There is no plan in place. I seek clarity on the matter at hand. Joey settled into the chair at the adjacent computer. Would you object to me conducting a bit of my own investigation? Proceed. With an unexpected finesse, Joey's fingers danced across the keyboard. He explained that one gains a wealth of knowledge in county lockup, particularly in the art of locating public records. After a brief span of 10 minutes, Joey let out a whistle. Ryan has formed some intriguing business alliances. Behold this. A property deed illuminated the screen. One of the rental properties owned by Ryan was co-signed by an individual known as Patricia Marsh. The address resonated with a sense of familiarity. It was the place where Jessica's sister resided. What a small world, Michael murmured. Become more compact. Behold this. Yet another document. A business license for Wellness Coaching Solutions, LLC. 6 months ago, Jessica Carter and Patricia Marsh joined forces as partners. Michael gazed intently at the screen. She embarked on a new venture. I am placing my wager with your funds. You're the one who handles the household bills. Correct. Halt the flow of her earnings for additional ventures. And the sidemen. Indeed. That as well. Michael meticulously printed every single document. The documentation revealed a narrative of meticulous planning and cunning deceit that stretched back for months, perhaps even years. This was not a hasty decision made in the heat of the moment. This represented a strategy designed for the long haul. Do you grasp the significance of this? As they strolled back to his truck, Joey inquired. That I am foolish. That she has been contemplating her departure for some time now. This indicates a certain carelessness on her part. Those who meticulously chart their course often leave traces behind. Michael's phone vibrated with a sudden urgency. A message from Emily Carter. Father, may we have a conversation? Shall we rendezvous at Mario's diner once school lets out? My daughter wishes to see me. Joey inclined his head in acknowledgement. Excellent. These children perceive all that adults believe they are concealing. Emily Carter, perched in the corner booth of Mario's diner, exuded an air that suggested she had seen more than her 17 years. She possessed Michael's deep-set eyes and resolute chin, yet also carried her mother's gift for secrecy. Up to this moment. Father, there is something I must share with you. Michael gracefully settled into the seat across from him. Fire away. Mother has been conversing with her acquaintances regarding you. Expressing thoughts. What sort of things? Emily Carter retrieved her phone from her pocket. Unbeknownst to her, my ears caught the whispers of her calls. Yet, the echoes of sound resonate throughout our home. She activated a voice memo. Jessica's voice resonated from the speaker, cutting and indifferent. Michael is truly a figure of pity. He believes this marriage still holds significance. I find myself in a state of anticipation, poised for the perfect opportunity to take decisive action. Michael felt the bitter brew curdle into acid within his stomach. "There's more," Emily Carter said. She perused her phone with a sense of curiosity. In the laundry room, I stumbled upon her old phone, a forgotten relic of the past. The one she claimed was damaged. Yet another voice memo. Jessica and Ryan, their voices soft and secretive. He remains blissfully unaware of what lies ahead. After 18 years of marriage, he remains blissfully unaware of my unfaithfulness. It evokes a sense of melancholy. The voice of Ryan. When will you share the news with him? I am not. I shall ensure he discovers the truth. Allow him to believe that he bears some responsibility for this. It's more straightforward that way. Michael placed his coffee cup on the table, his hands trembling slightly. For how long have you been aware? What can you tell me about Ryan? 3 months have passed. Concerning the possibility of your mother contemplating departure. Lengthier. Why was I not informed? Emily Carter's eyes brimmed with tears. I held on to the hope that I might be mistaken, because I wished to hold on to the hope that Mom would never truly act this way towards you. To us, they lingered in quietude for a brief moment. The diner buzzed with the rhythm of everyday existence. Families gathered around the dinner table. Teenagers lost in the thrill of their first dates, and elderly gentlemen engaged in spirited debates over sports. Michael experienced the scene as if it were unfolding behind a barrier of impenetrable clarity. What will you choose to do? Emily Carter inquired. Uncertain, no matter what it may be. I am eager to assist. Michael gazed at his daughter, truly observed her. When did she transform into someone so mature? When had she begun to perceive the world with clarity, while he had been wandering aimlessly in darkness? He cautioned that I may not be the hero of this tale. Mom ceased to play the role of the good guy quite some time back. For 2 days, Michael pondered the revelations that Emily Carter had unveiled to him. For 2 days, I found myself sprawled on Joey's couch, evading the persistent calls from Jessica's lawyer. My gaze fixated on the evidence laid out before me on the coffee table, each item resembling a fragment of a larger puzzle waiting to be solved. The audio recordings, the documents pertaining to the business. Emily Carter uncovered the hotel receipts, realizing there were multiple to consider. A labyrinth of deceit and meticulous planning unfolds on every page. Will you linger on this indefinitely? On the 3rd morning, Joey inquired. I find myself in contemplation. Accelerate your thoughts. With each passing day, the narrative remains firmly in her grasp. Indeed, Joey was correct. At this point, it seemed that half the neighborhood had come to believe Michael was a volatile husband who had lost control and assaulted his wife's unsuspecting friend. The remaining crowd lingered, eager for the next morsel of scandal. Michael reached his conclusion while sipping instant coffee and nibbling on stale donuts. May I kindly request to borrow your computer? What is the purpose? To speak the truth. Compiling the email list proved to be a straightforward task. Jessica's family, her business partners, her social media followers, each one a thread in the intricate tapestry of her life. The audience she had captivated over the years. Michael crafted a straightforward note. I'm including a selection of audio files that I believe you would find intriguing. Formulate your own conclusions. Michael Carter. There shall be no allegations made. No explanations needed. Merely proof. He pressed the send button and paused, anticipation hanging in the air. The reply came without delay. Within mere moments, his phone began to buzz incessantly. It was Jessica's sister, Patricia, who made the first call. Michael, what on earth is this? How does it resonate? It seems as though my sister is unraveling her marriage for the sake of a hotel manager. Indeed, that is precisely what it is. Patricia lingered in silence for an extended moment. I apologize. I was unaware it had reached such depths. I did not either. One by one, the calls arrived. Jessica's companions in fitness, her fellow book enthusiasts, and even her mother. A few offered their support. Some were merely in search of idle chatter. Each of them had listened to Jessica's voice on those recordings, casual yet cruel, in a manner that defied explanation. The sound of Michael's phone pierced the silence. Jessica let out a piercing scream before he even had the chance to utter a greeting. How could you possibly? Those discussions are of a personal nature, confidential. You were orchestrating my disgrace within the confines of our own home. Your actions were unjustified. I possessed every right. Are you intent on shattering our marriage? Very well. Yet, the narrative is not yours to dictate. She ended the call. 20 minutes later, Joey received a call from his cousin employed at the hotel. Ryan has been suspended while an investigation is underway. It seems that those audio files were also sent to his boss. Michael encountered a sensation that had eluded him for years. Contentment. As Michael savored his breakfast at Joey's, the phone rang, revealing a call from Emily Carter. Father, there seems to be an issue with Mother. Could you clarify what you mean? She fell to the ground at the hotel. She was taken to the hospital. Michael raced through the city, ignoring the red lights as he sped toward Baltimore General. Beside him, Joey sat in the passenger seat, his voice a low murmur filled with concerns about cardiac events and the perils of stress-induced medical crises. Upon their arrival, they discovered Emily Carter seated in the waiting room, her expression one of fear, appearing even more youthful than her 17 years would suggest. The doctors have indicated that it resembles a stroke, she elaborated, though it is not a typical case. There was a tension in her mind, a tightening of the blood vessels within her brain, a physical manifestation of the stress that weighed heavily upon her. Will she be all right? They remain unaware. Her right side remains unresponsive. Michael gazed through the window at his wife, who lay in the hospital bed, appearing suddenly small and fragile beneath the unforgiving fluorescent lights. Amidst the rhythmic beeping of machines, vital signs flickered like fragile flames, struggling against the heavy burden of her own fabrications. This isn't your fault, Emily Carter said, her gaze lingering on his troubled expression. Is it not? No. She brought this upon herself. Ryan arrived an hour later, his appearance weary and filled with a sense of urgency. He attempted to step into Jessica's room, yet a nurse intervened, articulating that only family members were permitted during visiting hours. "I'm her partner," Ryan asserted, a hint of defiance in his voice. "Are you the one she calls her husband?" the nurse inquired. Across the waiting room, Ryan's gaze settled on Michael. "Negative. In that case, Patience will be your companion." Michael observed Ryan as he roamed the hallway, restless and agitated, reminiscent of a trapped creature. In the absence of Jessica to guide the story, Ryan appeared adrift, filled with doubt. The assured hotel manager had vanished, giving way to a middle-aged man coming to terms with the fact that he had been engaged in a game with genuine repercussions. "Father," Emily Carter's fingers brushed against his arm. "The physician wishes to have a conversation with you." "Doctor." Williams appeared weary, a woman in her 50s who had likely shared heartbreaking news with countless families. "Mr. Vale, I must inform you that your wife's condition remains stable, though it is serious. The vasospasm has resulted in a fleeting paralysis affecting her right side. Through the journey of therapy, she stands a chance to reclaim much of her function. Yet the path to recovery may stretch over months, perhaps even years. What was the catalyst behind it? Intense pressure may provoke these occurrences. Has your wife been experiencing any unusual stress recently?" Michael nearly chuckled. "One might indeed suggest that it is essential that we engage in a conversation about the various long-term care options available to us. Therapeutic interventions encompassing physical rehabilitation, communication enhancement, and daily living skills development. The landscape of insurance is intricate and multifaceted. What a tangled web we weave. It appears that Mrs. Vale is not designated as the primary on your policy. Your authorization will be necessary for any significant medical decisions." Michael sensed the earth tremble underfoot. Every insurance form he had signed throughout the years, every piece of paperwork Jessica had placed in his hands without a word of explanation. In her relentless pursuit of an escape plan, she had overlooked the security he had quietly offered her throughout their time together. The divorce papers were delivered by courier as Michael sat by Jessica's bedside in the hospital, though her words were still tangled in the web of her thoughts. Her gaze followed him intently as he stepped into the room. "Greetings, Jessica." She attempted to articulate her thoughts. It emerged as a muffled murmur. Michael continued, easing himself into the bedside chair. "I received the papers from your lawyer. Fascinating literature. You seek to claim a portion of it all. Support from a partner and sole possession of the residence." Jessica's left hand formed a tight fist. "I've been engaged in some paperwork of my own. It appears that the venture you embarked on with your sister, which was financed using funds from our shared accounts, is likely to pose a significant issue." He retrieved a folder from his possession. "I have also been in conversation with a lawyer, taking advantage of a complimentary consultation at Legal Aid. Discovered intriguing insights into the intricacies of Maryland divorce law." With a deliberate motion, Michael opened the folder and revealed the first document to her gaze. This document serves as a forensic accounting report. Illustrates precisely the allocation of our funds over the last 2 years. A substantial sum has been deposited into your business account. A multitude of expenses at luxurious hotels and fine dining establishments. Was I really covering the mortgage, utilities, and insurance all this time? Jessica's eyes grew wide with surprise. Michael continued, "Let me share something about adultery in Maryland. It influences the distribution of assets, particularly when the resources of the marriage were employed to sustain the indiscretion." He presented her with another document. "And then there is this. Do you recall all those insurance forms you had me sign? The instances in which you mentioned I should be the primary due to my employer's coverage. That implies I will have the authority to make medical decisions on your behalf should you become incapacitated." Jessica attempted to rise, her expression betraying a surge of panic. "Unwind. I won't be drastic, but I will ensure that you receive the precise level of care that your actions warrant." Michael rose to his feet. "Yesterday, your boyfriend Ryan paid a visit. Have you heard? He has been suspended from his job. There exists a certain complexity surrounding the dynamics of relationships with guests that can veer into inappropriate territory. It seems the hotel regards such matters with utmost seriousness." He approached the door, then hesitated. "Ah, and Jessica, I have decided to retain possession of the house. 3 weeks post-stroke, Ryan lingered in the hospital parking lot, anticipation hanging in the air as Michael emerged from the visiting hours of physical therapy. "We need to talk," Ryan said. "Indeed, we do not. Ah, you believe yourself to be quite clever, do you?" Ryan moved in closer, and Michael caught the unmistakable scent of alcohol wafting from his breath. "Assuming the role of the victim, is everyone being manipulated? Controlling?" Michael let out a hearty laugh. "I merely spoke the truth. You have shattered my professional aspirations, the essence of my standing. You brought this upon yourself when you chose to share a bed with my wife." Ryan's punch lacked finesse, its intention all too apparent and poorly executed. With a deft sidestep, Michael seized Ryan's wrist, harnessing his forward momentum to drive him face first against the cold metal of a parked car. The car mirror fractured against Ryan's nose, producing a gratifying crunch. "You broke my nose," Ryan gasped. "Your actions shattered the foundation of my marriage." From a nearby SUV, 2 men stepped out, unmistakably friends of Ryan, their matching gym attire and assertive stances revealing a shared camaraderie. They approached Michael with the bravado of those unacquainted with the harsh realities of true conflict. For 3 weeks, Michael immersed himself in the rigorous training at Joey's boxing gym. Simple yet effective, merely fundamental combinations and footwork. Yet, it sufficed. The initial fellow swung with abandon, his arc soaring high and erratic. Michael swiftly ducked beneath the incoming strike, rising with a powerful uppercut aimed at the solar plexus, sending his opponent crashing down like a heavy sack of cement. The second man paused, uncertainty flickering in his eyes. just as Joey materialized from the shadows, wielding a tire iron with intent. "Is there an issue here?" Joey inquired. In an unexpected twist, the second man abruptly recalled that he had another engagement awaiting him. Ryan remained propped against the car, cradling his nose. "This is far from finished." "Indeed, it is," Michael remarked. "Your hotel has placed your employment on hold. Jessica is currently undergoing rehabilitation. Your quaint gathering has come to an end. I'll sue you for assault," Michael declared, pointing toward the hospital security cameras. "Proceed." "I have no doubt they captured the moment you delivered the initial blow." Ryan staggered back, his companions guiding him toward their SUV. Michael observed their departure, a peculiar sense of tranquility washing over him. Joey noted the impressive right hook. "Thank you. What led you to arrive here?" "Emily Carter reached out to me, expressing her concern for you." Michael gazed at the hospital windows, pondering whether his daughter was observing him from within. Had she been concerned for him? At what point had he transformed into a figure deserving of concern? The encounter could have concluded at that juncture. Yet Ryan committed a pivotal error. Rather than silently nursing his wounds, he chose to retaliate through the realm of social media. The following morning, his Instagram post emerged, featuring a photo of his bandaged nose alongside an extensive caption delving into the themes of psychotic husbands and unprovoked assaults. He marked the hotel, a number of local establishments, and even Jessica's private account. It exploded in a dazzling display of failure. In a matter of hours, the comments section became a bustling hub of voices, all reacting to the leaked audio recordings of Jessica. They unveiled screenshots of her voice messages, recounted tales of Ryan's questionable conduct at the hotel, and scrutinized every nuance of the affair with the merciless precision characteristic of the online world. A TikTok emerged featuring Jessica's voice, proclaiming, "He thinks this marriage still means something," set against a backdrop of forlorn husbands. In just a single day, it amassed an impressive 2 million views. Michael observed the digital wildfire unfurling from Joey's laptop, captivated and appalled in equal parts. "This is absolutely absurd," he murmured. "This is justice," Joey corrected. 2 decades passed. Individuals like Ryan had the power to shatter unions and swiftly transition to their next conquest. At this moment, all is etched in permanence. Michael's phone chimed with an incoming call. A journalist from the Baltimore Sun sought to engage him in an interview regarding the sensational adultery case that had captured public attention. He politely refused. Yet another call. A producer associated with a daytime talk show. Regrettably, the answer is no. A literary agent with a keen focus on the realm of true crime memoirs. Regrettably, it has been declined. "You realize there's potential for profit in this," Joey remarked. "I have no desire for wealth. I yearn for the return of my former life." Then cease answering the phone and allow them to transition to the next scandal. Yet the scandal proved to have enduring momentum. Ryan was let go entirely from his hotel following the upheaval on social media. Jessica found herself abandoned by her fitness influencer sponsors. The rehabilitation center, too, urged Michael to explore other options, overwhelmed as they were by the relentless media scrutiny surrounding her stay. Michael discovered he was ensnared in a predicament that seemed utterly insurmountable, the unwilling focal point of a narrative he had never wished to share. The origin of Emily Carter's solution was surprisingly unconventional. The annual student speech competition at her high school, the central motif revolved around the interplay of truth and its ensuing consequences. She had been chosen to represent her class. "I want to discuss betrayal," she said to Michael as they sat down for dinner at Mario's diner. "Without specifying individuals, let's explore the consequences that arise when one prioritizes self-interest above familial bonds." That's quite a weighty subject for a school speech. The subject weighs heavily on the family. Michael observed his daughter as she meticulously arranged her thoughts, her pen dancing across the surface of napkins, leaving behind a flurry of notes. When did she acquire such eloquence, such clarity of thought? What will your argument be? Ultimately, the truth has a way of revealing itself in due time. In the end, it is those who remained true from the outset who emerge unscathed. On a Thursday evening, the school auditorium came alive with the energy of the speech competition. Michael nestled into the shadows at the back, striving for invisibility, yet keenly aware of the familiar faces of neighbors and family friends scattered throughout the audience. Whispers had spread about Emily Carter's subject. As her moment arrived, Emily Carter approached the podium, exuding a serene assurance. She cast her gaze over the audience for a brief moment, then commenced her speech. "My generation is often labeled in various ways: self-assured, innocent, optimistic. Yet, there exists a singular truth we grasp more profoundly than many grown-ups. The digital realm endures eternally." She spoke of the essence of truth in our digital era. In an age where every individual is equipped with cameras and recording devices, the art of secrecy has become a relic of the past. The once elusive nature of hidden truths now stands exposed, as the omnipresence of technology renders confidentiality a fleeting notion. She explored the distinction between privacy and deception, in the delicate balance between safeguarding loved ones and unleashing chaos. She refrained from uttering names, offering no specific details. Yet, every soul in the audience grasped precisely what she meant. When adults opt for betrayal instead of honesty, she concluded, they inflict pain not only on their partners, they are instilling in their children the notion that love comes with conditions. The terms of that commitment can be discussed. That family is merely a synonym for convenience. The applause resonated like a storm, filling the air with its powerful echo. Michael discovered that tears were streaming down his face, a realization that caught him off guard. Later, Emily Carter discovered him in the parking lot. "What are your thoughts on my performance? You were flawless. Do you believe Mother would feel a sense of pride?" Michael pondered the question. The Jessica of yesteryears. The woman he had vowed to cherish 18 years prior, would have felt a swell of pride. The current, Jessica, resting in a rehabilitation bed following a stress-induced stroke, may have been too wrapped up in her own world to take notice. What aspect of your mother fills you with pride? Indeed, she certainly would be. The divorce mediation unfolded within the stark confines of a downtown conference room, devoid of warmth or character. Jessica participated through a video call from her rehabilitation center. Her speech, though still slurred, remained comprehensible. Ryan's absence was particularly striking. Jessica's attorney, an impeccably dressed woman by the name of Patricia Kane, presented their stipulations with precision. 50% of the home's worth, a portion of Michael's retirement benefits, and 5 years of financial assistance for the spouse. Michael's legal aid attorney, a weary figure known as David Park, responded with the forensic accounting report and a substantial folder brimming with evidence. Park explained that Mrs. Vale utilized marital assets to finance an affair outside her marriage. According to the laws of Maryland, this behavior is deemed marital misconduct, which has implications for the distribution of property. Kane felt no sense of admiration. The medical condition of my client stems directly from the relentless harassment campaign orchestrated by her husband. Intimidation. Park retrieved his phone from his pocket. Are you suggesting that we disclose proof of infidelity to our mutual friends and family? That is what we refer to as honesty. The mediation unfolded over the course of 3 hours. Ultimately, Jessica departed with her personal effects. Her vehicle once Michael resumed his financial obligations and sufficient funds to address her rehabilitation expenses. Michael retained the house, secured his pension, and, most crucially, gained primary custody of Emily Carter. This isn't fair, Jessica whispered through the video link, her tears cascading down her cheeks. Michael inclined his body closer to the camera. You intend to bring me shame, seize a portion of my belongings, and forsake our daughter for a man who cast you aside the moment challenges arose. This is truly equitable. This is compassion. Once the lawyers departed, Michael remained solitary in the conference room for 20 minutes, grappling with the weight of recent events. Nearly 2 decades of shared life, now distilled into a mere contract and the division of assets. His phone vibrated with a sudden urgency, a message from Emily Carter. What was the outcome? It is finished, he responded. Excellent. Joey is preparing dinner. Return to the place where you belong. Residence. Somewhere along the way, Joey's apartment had transformed into a home, not a permanent one, but a sanctuary for the present moment. A realm where honesty reigned and individuals cared for one another. With a sense of purpose, Michael collected his paperwork and made his way toward the door. Outside, Baltimore buzzed with the familiar clamor of traffic, construction, and the intricate tapestry of lives unfolding in their complexity. In the heart of the city, Ryan was likely scheming his next maneuver, his next target. In another place, Jessica was rediscovering the art of walking, articulating her thoughts with clarity, and embracing the outcomes of her decisions. Yet Michael no longer held sway over their destinies. After many years, he found himself solely accountable for his own affairs. Half a year had passed, and Michael found himself in the midst of replacing the kitchen sink in his home, now legally and irrevocably, when the doorbell chimed unexpectedly. Peering through the peephole, he caught sight of Jessica poised on his front porch. She appeared transformed, noticeably slimmer, and her right arm still dangled awkwardly by her side. Yet, there lingered an additional nuance, a palpable urgency in her stance that had previously eluded notice. "What is it that you seek?" "Jessica, it's time for a conversation." In mediation, our conversation unfolded through the intermediaries of our lawyers. "Kindly grant me just 5 minutes." Despite the warnings echoing in his mind, Michael turned the handle and stepped through the threshold. Jessica stepped into the living room she had transformed thrice, surveying her surroundings as if she were an explorer in an unfamiliar land. "This place has a nice vibe," she remarked. "Thank you. I've heard whispers that you're seeing someone new." Michael remained silent. His personal life was no longer her concern. "Listen," Jessica continued. "It's clear that our relationship has become intricate and tangled." "Intricate?" Michael let out a hearty laugh. "You methodically dismantled our union, all the while scheming to claim every possession I held dear. What may seem simple is, in fact, a result of careful consideration. I have erred. Decisions were made. A distinction exists." Jessica's facade began to show the slightest fissure. "I've lost it all, Michael. The essence of my enterprise, the support of my patrons, the integrity of my name. Ryan has ceased to respond to my calls. What were your expectations? That he would remain by your side once you turned into a burden. I anticipated. Uncertain. I believed that others would grasp the reality that some marriages simply fail to flourish. Marriages often face challenges that lead to their unraveling. Infidelity is a decision." A moment of silence enveloped them as they stood together. Outside, Michael could hear the Hendersons, his neighbors, tending to their garden, immersed in the simplicity of their everyday, genuine existence. "What is it that you desire?" Once more, Michael inquired. "Longing for the comfort of home. I yearn to return." The words lingered in the atmosphere, ethereal and elusive, much like wisps of smoke. Michael gazed at his ex-wife, the woman who had once shared his bed for 18 years, who had brought their daughter into the world, and who had orchestrated his humiliation with meticulous care. "Home," he echoed. "Perhaps we might consider another attempt. Seek out counseling. I have transformed. Your distinction lies in the fact that you were apprehended, and due to the fact that your boyfriend left you behind. And since no one is inclined to support a fitness influencer who struggles to utilize her right arm effectively," Jessica's cheeks burned with a deep crimson hue. "That is unkind. It is sincere. You may wish to consider this at some point." I seek to express my sincerest apologies. Indeed, that is not the case. You seek a companion to tend to your needs now that your plans for departure have unraveled. Jessica's poise finally crumbled entirely. You insufferable scoundrel. Do you believe you've emerged victorious? Do you truly believe that shattering my existence casts you in a heroic light? I did not bring ruin to your existence. I have finally ceased to shield you from the repercussions of your decisions. I devoted 18 years to you. You bestowed upon me 18 years woven with deception. I devoted 18 years of unwavering loyalty that you never truly earned. With a fierce determination, Jessica lunged at him, her left hand slicing through the air in a chaotic arc. Michael grasped her wrist with a firm yet gentle touch, maintaining his hold until the fury faded from her gaze. I could have taken everything, she whispered, her tears cascading down her cheeks. Had I been more astute in my approach, had I crafted a more thoughtful plan, yet you chose not to. Those who believe themselves to be more intelligent than others often find that their perception of their own intellect is not as accurate as they assume. Michael let go of her wrist and made his way to the front door. It is imperative that you depart at once. Kindly. Emily Carter will be returning home from school in an hour. There is no necessity for her to witness this. With a palpable determination, Jessica composed herself, dabbing at her tears and smoothing out her attire. At the threshold, she glanced back one final time. This will haunt you. In the twilight of your years, when solitude wraps around you, you will recall my efforts to return. Michael pondered this. Perhaps, yet I would choose solitude with my integrity over companionship steeped in deceit. He observed her as she made her way to her car, a humble sedan now, a stark contrast to the opulent SUV she had once driven during their time together. With a clumsy grip, she struggled to maneuver the keys, her injured right hand turning even the simplest of tasks into a challenge. As she drove away, an unexpected emotion washed over Michael: pity. Insufficient to alter his perspective, yet sufficient to evoke memories of a time when their love had flourished, before the insidious grip of ambition and entitlement had tainted it all. His phone vibrated, a message from Emily Carter lighting up the screen. As I make my way home, I find that Joey will be joining us for dinner. I trust you're crafting something far superior to the calamity of last week. With a gentle smile gracing his lips, Michael turned and made his way back to the kitchen. The sink remained in need of repair. Joey would likely arrive with a selection of beer and a repertoire of awful jokes, while Emily Carter would voice her frustrations regarding her calculus assignments. Common challenges, genuine challenges, issues that could be resolved without the need for legal counsel, mediation, or any form of documentation. He grasped his wrench firmly and returned to his task with renewed focus. Outside, Baltimore buzzed with its familiar frenzy. Yet within the confines of his dwelling, his sanctuary, a profound stillness enveloped the space at last.